All right, listen up. Here's the brutal truth. Most people out there are walking around like mindless robots. They react to everything, complain about stuff that doesn't even matter, and chase distractions like moths to a flame. Meanwhile, the real winners, the ones who dominate the game, they're the ones who hit pause, assess the situation, and then strike with precision. The world doesn't hand out trophies to the loudest complainers. It crowns the strategic thinkers. So, here's the million-dollar question. Which one are you? Take a good look around. The world isn't run by the biggest or the strongest. No, it's controlled by those who think with a cool, calculated mindset. They ditch the drama, suppress fear, and make decisions with laser-like clarity. Meanwhile, the majority, they're stuck in an endless loop of emotional chaos. Fear makes them freeze, anger makes them reckless, attachment skews their reality, and ego turns them into overconfident clowns. In the end, their decisions are flimsy, driven by impulses instead of logic, like puppets being yanked around by invisible strings. But you're different. You're about to elevate your mind to a level where emotions don't call the shots. You do. Imagine moving through life with a mindset that's cold, calculated, and relentless. No hesitation, just pure, sharp decisions that keep you one step ahead of everyone else. If you're looking for some instant gratification or a feel-good pep talk, move along. But if you're ready to rewire your brain for absolute mastery, then stick with me. Here's the game plan, the cold calculation technique. It's not just a trick. It's a complete mind overhaul. It kicks emotion to the curb, cranks up your decision-making skills, and keeps you always in the driver's seat. Think of it as playing life like a high-stakes chess match, where every move counts and every mistake is a setup for your next strategic win. Miss even one step and you'll be stuck with the crowd, playing by their rules, following their lead. But if you're ready to take charge and set your own rules, then let's get into it. Now, let's get one thing straight. Emotions are powerful. They can knock you off balance, make you do crazy things, and leave you regretting half your life choices. But the kicker? They don't last. Research says that the peak intensity of any strong emotion, whether it's anger, fear, excitement, or frustration, lasts about 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, that's it. Yet in those fleeting moments, people make the worst decisions, texting stuff they shouldn't, blowing up relationships, botching negotiations, or spilling secrets to people who'll use it against them. It's like letting a firecracker wreck your entire house. Totally avoidable if you just learn to wait it out. You want to play smart? Learn to outlast your emotions. Ride out that 15-minute storm without making a move, and watch how much clearer everything becomes. Those who control their impulses, they're the ones who end up on top, while everyone else is stuck cleaning up the mess their emotions left behind. You know what separates the powerful from the powerless? It's not about being some emotionless robot. It's about mastering the art of pausing, taking that crucial moment to think before reacting. Sounds simple, right? Yet, it's the difference between those who conquer and those who crumble. Let's talk about how you master this game. The emotional delay rule. Rule number 1, create space before reacting. When anger hits like a freight train or excitement sparks like a firecracker, don't jump the gun. Give yourself at least 10 minutes to simmer down. If the stakes are sky high, stretch that time even longer. Because trust me, nothing good comes from snapping in the heat of the moment. Next up, detach emotions from facts. Yeah, I know, easier said than done. But here's the trick. Write down what happened like you're just some third-party observer. No drama, no bias, just straight-up facts. This little exercise forces your brain to switch from wild emotional mode to cold, strategic thinking. You're no longer drowning in feelings. You're seeing the situation with crystal clear logic. Then comes the game changer question. If I had zero emotions right now, what would be the smartest move? See how that flips the script? By stripping away feelings, you get the unfiltered truth, the situation as it is, not as your emotions are trying to twist it. Now, here's a fun one. Watch how everyone else loses their minds. Seriously, pay attention to how most people just let their emotions run the show, snapping at coworkers, venting online, or making reckless choices when they're heated. Meanwhile, you're there, calm, collected, and making power moves. Every time you hold it together while others crack, your influence over them quietly grows. So why does this rule make you instantly more powerful? Simple. While others are flinging words and regrets around like confetti, you're the one who's actually thinking. You're not falling for emotional traps or impulsively torching your own reputation. Instead, you're calculating, keeping your cool, and coming out on top. This isn't just about saving face, it's about making smarter choices, decisions based on logic, not fleeting emotions. You dodge the pitfalls that most people trip over because you're not being dragged around by your feelings. The emotional delay rule might sound basic, but it's a game changer. Every second you hold off reacting is a second you gain control of yourself, the situation, and, quite often, the people around you. The truth is, most people make decisions while tangled up in feelings, whether it's fear, excitement, or sheer overconfidence. You've heard them. I feel like this won't work. Or the classic, this seems like a good idea. Problem is, feelings lie. They're fickle, easily swayed by stress, mood, or even what someone said 5 minutes ago. But the real power players? They don't trust gut instincts alone. They look at the hard facts, the data, the probabilities. They don't say, I feel like it's risky. They say, there's a 70% chance this goes south based on past data. They base their decisions on tangible numbers, not vague impressions. When you start seeing situations through that cold, calculating lens, your decisions get sharper, your predictions get tighter, and suddenly you're the one running the show while everyone else is too busy riding the emotional roller coaster. Let me tell you a secret most people don't want to admit. Your emotions are sabotaging your success. Yeah, that's right. You think you're being smart, making decisions based on a gut feeling, but in reality, you're letting your emotions run the show. And guess what? The world doesn't care about your feelings. It rewards logic and numbers. Imagine this. You're about to make a big business move, and your instincts are screaming, this feels risky. But pause for a second. Is that fear talking, or are you looking at the cold, hard facts? Next time you catch yourself saying, I feel like this will work, stop and ask yourself, what data actually backs that up? Thinking in numbers, not emotions, forces your brain to snap out of that foggy, wishful thinking and face reality head on. Here's the trick. Before you make any decision, whether it's investing your money, choosing a business strategy, or even making a personal call, ask, what do the numbers say? Business? Lean on market trends, competitor performance, and proven case studies. Investments? Focus on risk-to-reward ratios and historical success rates. Your love life? Maybe don't calculate that one, but at least think through the consequences. The best thinkers don't just trust their gut, They study patterns, probabilities, and solid evidence. They know guessing is a fool's game. Now, about risk. You've probably heard the saying, feel the fear and do it anyway. That's great for motivational posters, but terrible for your bank account. Emotions blow risks way out of proportion. Data, on the other hand, doesn't lie. Instead of panicking, break it down logically. Ask yourself, what's the absolute worst-case scenario, and how likely is it to happen? Then stack up the potential losses against the possible gains. If the reward still towers over the risk, you've got a green light. The goal is to think like a strategist, not a worrier. Let's be real. Most people aren't wired this way. They panic when they should stay calm. They leap when they should wait. And they drown in doubt when they should move forward. But when you start to train your mind to analyze, to calculate, and to make decisions based on numbers, not on feelings, you instantly outsmart the majority. Your business moves get sharper. Your investments get wiser. Your reputation gets stronger. Suddenly, people see you as the one who always makes the right call while they're busy tripping over their own emotional landmines. Now, here's a plot twist. Humans are great at giving advice to others, but terrible at following it themselves. You've been that person. Your friend comes crying about their bad choices, and you're sitting there like a wise sage, seeing every mistake with crystal clarity. But flip the situation around, and suddenly you're just as clueless. It's like watching someone else's train wreck is easy, but steering your own life away from disaster? Not so much. That's why powerful thinkers use a mental hack, the third-person view. It's like playing chess, except you're the one on the board, and you're also the one moving the pieces. The best players don't freak out with every move. They're cool, detached, studying the board like it's a puzzle to crack. They plan ahead, predicting patterns and calculating the consequences. Now imagine doing that with your own life. Step outside yourself and look at your choices like an outsider would. Ask, if I were advising someone else in this exact situation, what would I tell them to do? By taking that third-person perspective, you strip away the messy emotions and start seeing your life for what it really is, a game of strategy. So next time you're stuck in a whirlwind of doubt, just pause, zoom out, and think like a grandmaster. Your next move might just be the smartest one you've ever made. When you strip away emotions and start thinking like a strategist, suddenly life becomes a chessboard. No more reacting on impulse or letting your feelings hijack your decisions. You're in control, calculating every move. It's not about being cold or detached. It's about being smart. Emotions love to blow things out of proportion, turning molehills into mountains and tiny risks into life-threatening catastrophes. The trick? Stop reacting and start analyzing. Think of it this way. When you're caught up in your own drama, every little setback feels like the end of the world. But when it's someone else's problem, the solution is often glaringly obvious. Why? Because your ego's not on the line. So why not use that same perspective on yourself? Step back, look at the situation like a chess master eyeing the board and ask, what's the move that sets me up for the long game? Suddenly, the noise quiets down, and logic takes over. The key is to ditch your ego and think like an outsider. Imagine a stranger looking at your problem. What would they see as the smartest move? Your attachment to the issue is what blurs your judgment. So, the next time your mind starts spiraling, ask yourself, if this wasn't my problem, what would I tell a friend to do? Treat your own life with the same detached clarity you'd use when giving advice to someone else. Here's why this mindset is a game changer. Most people are stuck in their heads, overwhelmed by emotion, and making impulsive decisions they'll regret later. Not you. You'll be the one calmly assessing the battlefield while everyone else is charging in blind. You'll outthink them, outmaneuver them, and make decisions rooted in reason, not fleeting feelings. In conflicts, negotiations, or any high-stakes situation, you'll be the one holding all the cards because your judgment won't be clouded by fear or pride. And speaking of fear, let's get one thing straight. Fear is a master manipulator. It's the puppet master yanking your strings, making you hesitate, doubt yourself, and shy away from opportunities that could change your life. But here's the catch. Fear only has power when it stays undefined. Your brain loves to inflate danger when it doesn't know what's coming. The solution? Drag fear into the light. Spell out the absolute worst-case scenario. 9 times out of 10, you'll find it's not half as terrifying as your imagination made it out to be. Instead of letting fear paralyze you, confront it, define it, prepare for it. Once you do, it loses its fangs, and suddenly the monster under the bed is just a shadow. You'll move forward with a confidence most people can't even fathom because they're too busy running from shadows. Don't be one of them. Face your fear, calculate your risks, and push forward like a tactician, not a victim. That's how you take control and turn fear into fuel. All right, let's cut through the noise. You're afraid of a business venture failing? Good. That fear? It's the thing keeping you from moving forward. But what does failure really look like? I mean, really think about it. You make a bold move, put it all on the line, and then what? You crash and burn? Go broke? End up on some reality show about failed entrepreneurs? Spoiler alert, it's never as dramatic as your mind makes it out to be. Sit down and write it out. Your absolute worst-case scenario. Detail it. Paint the ugly picture. 9 times out of 10, once you actually spell it out, it's like, oh, that's it? Turns out your fear is just an overhyped rumor you bought into. Now, ask yourself one simple question. Can I survive that? Spoiler alert, yes, you can. Let's get real for a second. If you lost every dime you've got, would you really be stuck eating ramen forever? Probably not. If you made a complete fool of yourself publicly, would your life be over? Nah. You'd just become a meme for a hot minute, and guess what? People forget fast. Here's the kicker. Successful people don't pretend risks don't exist. They just don't let them run the show. They calculate, plan, and prepare. They think ahead. You've got to build safety nets before you dive head first. Know your next move before you even step onto the field. When you've got backup plans for every ugly scenario, suddenly that fear doesn't feel so intimidating. You'll find yourself charging ahead while everyone else is stuck debating whether they should even try. That's the secret. While most folks are busy being paralyzed by fear, you're already moving with purpose. You're making bold decisions while they're still checking if their parachute works. Fear only has power over those who refuse to challenge it. Once you drag that fear out into the light, it's like watching a monster shrink down to a shadow. That's when you become unstoppable. Now let's talk about playing the game. Whether it's business or negotiation, never react emotionally. The moment you wear your emotions on your sleeve, you've already lost the upper hand. Act like you've got ice in your veins. Analyze the situation, take a breath, and think 3 steps ahead. You'd be surprised how silence can unnerve people more than shouting ever could. Make them think you're plotting even when you're just figuring out your next coffee order. And when you're in a debate, let them lose their cool. The more they unravel, the more ammo they hand you. Stay unshaken while they show you their entire playbook. Eventually, they'll prove your point for you. You don't need to react. You just need to watch them crash and burn. When it comes to tough choices, strip the fear away. Stop letting your emotions complicate simple decisions. Ask yourself, if I wasn't scared, what would I do? Trust me, once you ditch the drama, the right move becomes pretty obvious. The boldest choices always feel a bit uncomfortable at first, but they're the ones that pack the real punch. In social situations, keep your eyes open. People get yanked around by their emotions all the time. Fear, insecurity, excitement, you name it. Watch how it drives their every move. Just don't let those same emotions puppeteer you. Stay unpredictable, unreadable, and untouchable. Your moves should always be calculated, never impulsive. While everyone else is reacting, you'll be strategizing. They'll crumble while you stay calm, and when it's time to make your move, strike with cold precision. They'll never see it coming. That's how you stay one step ahead, always thinking while they're too busy feeling.